Up next, PoloGab's top 5 centers for UAAP Season 88. Stay tuned. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with the Sultan of Sando and Mr. Maui Yap. We're back for another top 5 episode. Doing back-to-back episodes kasi aalis na si Sultan of Sando. Pupunta siyang US to scout talent. For today, we're going to do our last top 5 list. Our top 5 centers. Way too early top 5 centers for UAAP Season 88. So, let's get started. PoloGab, take it away.
I think this list is less controversial than the power forwards list because there were a lot of power forwards, could be considered wings, and I think ito mas clear-cut ang listahan natin, and I don't think we'll have much of an argument. I think this will be a very quick episode to be honest. So, that handsome guy. And for my number one, I think it's obvious. I think he's number one for every single person's
Pag di mo
list.
ginawa number one yun.
I mean, Mike Phillips, he's gonna eat everyone.
What a shocker.
alive. What a shocker. I just got off a game, Lasal versus San Beda. He had 23 points, 20 rebounds, a steal, and 3 blocks. I mean, bruh. He's gonna dominate the UAAP. I don't think he's just unstoppable. You pair his developed skill set with the motor that he always had, and there's just no one who comes close to Mike Phillips. There's no more QMB, as we said in our Ateneo Lasal recap, Maui. There's no one who has to answer for Mike Phillips, and fifth season of Mike Phillips, he's gonna want to win MVP. Actually, I think he wants to win a championship, of course, more. But man, just watching him, you can't believe that this guy is still in the UAAP in his fifth season. SBP should be making all manner of appeals and proposals to FIBA to allow this man to play as a local. He's played 5 seasons already in the UAAP in the Philippines. I think he has a good case to play as a local already.
He even speaks in Filipino. He can understand and speak in Filipino.
Yeah.
Pinoy na Pinoy na
I think
to.
when he arrived here, he was already fluent in Filipino already. So, I don't see how you can have anyone number one or even near number one to Mike Phillips. He's gonna dominate for Lasal, and I think having him alone puts Lasal in contender status. Despite how talented their roster is, how deep their roster is, having Mike Phillips there puts Lasal in contender status. Now, I know some of you will say he played power forward next to Henry Agonane last season. Yeah, but he's a center. That was a 2-center lineup. They didn't play well when it was him and Mike Phillips, when it was Agonane and Mike Phillips together. But he's a center. Lasal finished games with him as center. He's always been a center. He's not a power forward. He's a center. So, yeah, he's number one. He's an awesome defender as well. He's the anchor of the
Nagpipress.
Lasal team. Diba?
The center.
Yun eh.
He
Yung
doesn't only
nagpe-press
protect
eh,
the
no?
rim, he guards every single player on the court. As you said, siya kaya nag-head ng press eh. Nakaka-steal siya from the backcourt. That's how crazy good this guy is. And yeah, I mean, lock him in for MVP. I think if he has a healthy season, knock on wood, I hope he doesn't get injured. I think he's a lock for MVP. I don't think anyone's gonna come close.
It would be shocking. It would be shocking kung hindi siya nag-MVP.
Unless the fact that, I mean, FSAs can't win it anymore, so
That's true.
So I don't think there's anyone who's gonna come close to Mike Phillips unless the UAP creates another new rule to funnel the MVP towards other positions. I think it's Mike Phillips to lose. I mean, he's gonna win it. Maui, Sam.
Yeah, the fact that I think may argument si Mike Phillips as the most valuable player sa Lasal when we got a generational talent like Kevin Kiambao. The past 2 seasons speaks for it all. 'Di ba? Yung value that you get when you have a Mike Phillips who is even better than most FSAs or even better than every FSA the past few seasons. I think that speaks volumes on how good this guy is. QMB was the only guy who was able to neutralize this guy. It's crazy to think that he's coming back for another season, but I think he is thinking about that Gilas eligibility.
He has
That's one
nowhere
of the
else to go,
reasons.
Maui. I don't think he has anywhere else to go. But he can play as a local in international leagues. He
Yes,
can play, as a Filipino.
He cannot play as a player, I think, in the KBL because you have to have both parents with Asian heritage. He cannot play in the B League because he doesn't have FIBA clearance as a local. So I think he's looking at that, diba? He's maximizing yung time niya in the UAAP and crossing our fingers. Hopefully this guy gets yung Gilas eligibility. Much like UMB, this is a guy that SBP should be working on because they are Filipinos and they could very young. And I think I've been saying this. Ano ba yung ceiling ng Mike Phillips? Diba? If you look at this guy. Diba? If we talked about him 5 seasons ago, you would have said that this guy would have been it. Diba? An energy guy, somebody who can get 10 points, 10 rebounds, and anchor a defense. But that hasn't been the case. Diba? For Lasal. We talk about the development of Kevin Kiambao a lot. But people don't talk about the development of Mike Phillips as much as Kevin Kiambao has. Maybe it's a byproduct of him still not having a 3-point shot and struggling in the free throw line. But if you watch Mike Phillips from day one to the Mike Phillips that was last season, grabe. He now has counters. He can create his own shot. He can even play make. And he can even be the head of your press. Diba? I think that speaks volumes on how he has developed in Lasal and how Lasal continues to be able to get yung big man who want to develop their games. Diba? I think Phillips and Kevin Kiambao's development have been tremendous for Lasal and Gab is right. Nobody could come close to Phillips, I think, for MVP. Now that the UAAP has instituted a best FSA award. But for our top 5 big man list, we will be talking about FSAs because they deserve to be classified as normal players in the UAAP, just like any other student athletes, diba? I just have to say that before Gab gets to his number 2 to number 5. But yeah, crazy. I just have to say, when have we seen a college player, even an FSA, rack up 2020s like it was just any other day? Diba? Mike Phillips has done that. 30-20 against Ateneo could have been a 40-20. And now 20-20 against San Beda. Diba? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of 2020s come UAAP season. What's not to love about this guy? Kay Mike Phillips. He's humble. He's very marketable. I think every fan loves him. Maybe not the UP fan base. But he's easily liked. Diba? Maybe some on-court antics are the only reasons, but you just love this guy, di ba? Even if he taunts, nagsasorry, di ba? So I think Mike Phillips is gonna be the runaway MVP, much like Kevin Kiambao was. I think the only reason why Kevin Kiambao was challenged for the MVP slot last season was his own teammate, si Mike Phillips, but he will run away for sure, barring any injuries, hopefully.
Ang ganda nung sinabi mo, Mao, about like where Mike Phillips was nung first season niya versus where he is now. I was gonna say something similar kasi I was telling my dad, I was watching the Ateneo Lasal game sa Asia Basket and then I told him, Mike Phillips almost scored 40 points and grabbed like 20 plus rebounds. And he was like, huh? Mike Phillips? Di ba yun yung rebounder lang? Kalaban ni Kwame noon? And that's what he was nung first season niya, diba? Like this super energy guy, athletic, he rebounded a lot for LaSalle, blocked shots maybe, but that was it. I would not have expected to see him be this good or this dominant 5 years after. And very exciting for not just for LaSalle fans but for Gilas fans than like to watch Mike Phillips, and hopefully we do see him play for the Philippines. Um I think ang ganda din nung sinabi mo. I think he is like talked about a lot, but feel ko parang kulang pa rin. Parang underrated pa rin si Mike, even though he was like number 2 in MVP, because KQ was there. That was the problem, 'di ba? So I think this is a good year for Mike Phillips to sort of get away from KQ's shadows, if I could say that. Kasi wala na si KQ, 'di ba? And he's the clear like main guy, even though like they have a bunch of superstars coming in, sina Kian Baclan, Jacob Cortez. He's the clear like heart and soul of this Lasal team. And I'm sure it would mean a lot for him to win that championship. And I'm curious to see how he will perform this season. Although I'm I'm not a bit disappointed. I'm very disappointed na sa Ateneo Lasal game pa lang, we can see he has not yet improved on his free throws. Come on, Mike. Yun na nga lang yung kailangan mo ayusin. Kahit hindi na yung...
Kahit kanina,
Nobody-
wala pang beda. He was 9
Nobody's
of 15.
perfect.
Yun
Nobody's
nga. Alam mong
perfect.
nobody's perfect. Oh, tama ka.
Only Jokic.
Nobody is perfect. God is fair. Nobody is perfect. So, clear number 1, Mike Phillips. I would be shocked kung hindi siya mag-MVP this season.
And to add to placing Mike Phillips here at number 1, he is a highlight reel machine. I think siguro kakalahati ng highlight reel sa UAAP galing lang kay Mike Phillips. Highlight reel blocks, highlight reel dunks. Diba? I do remember he got dunked on by Precious Momoway. And then on the other end, got Precious Momoway back with a dunk also. Or
That was a
the other
crazy
way
game.
around?
Yeah.
Diba? Do you guys remember that when he posterized Precious Momoway? Crazy. And in Asia Basket, he had a highlight reel block on Josh Lazaro as well, just spiking it on the ground, and he, again, a highlight reel machine. Definitely deserves to be number 1. At number 2, a far number 2, if I may say so myself, but I think a very deserving number 2. It's Mo Konate of the FEU Tamaraos. No, Montel Shelton is not gonna replace him. I will be shocked to the core of my inner being, to my bones, if Mo Konate is replaced by Montel Shelton for season 88. No. Coach Sean, no, please. Mo Konate is way better. You said it, Sam. I think played the most minutes of any player in season 87, because his backup was Miguel Ona, to be fair. So he had to play those minutes, but racked up double-doubles nearly every game, I think, except the first one. But double-double machine, can score in the paint, is a great target for guys like Joric and Jan Ray for those alley-oops, for those drop passes. Protects the rim, does not give an inch against guys like Mike Phillips, guys like Precious Momoway. Outplayed yung evens in a Precious Momoway. And I do remember when we were having this conversation about mga top 5 MVPs, the possible top players of season 87. Shocked kayong dalawa nung sinabi ko, watch out for Mo Konate of FEU. I think he's gonna be in the mythical 5. I think yung preseason MV awards picks natin, sinabi ko, watch out for Mo Konate. You guys were shocked. And towards the end of the season, I don't think anyone was shocked anymore I think he was named to the mythical 5. Yeah, he was. That he was named to the mythical 5. This guy was pretty good for FEU. One of the reasons why FEU battled for a Final Four slot, I think nung loss lang nila to UP in the end of the second round, doon lang sila na eliminate. But we're in the thick of things despite a 0-5 start. A big reason was Mo Konate. I expect that we will see the same amount of numbers, same amount of minutes for Mo Konate in season 88. Hopefully, battling again for a Final Four slot. Maui, Sam.
Hopefully, walang curse. Diba? Kasi we healed Precious Momoway as without a doubt the best FSA coming into season 87. I think that should be the case with Mo Konate, especially that we don't know if Mo Tounkara will play for UST. I think si Konate has the inside track to be that top, to be that contender for that lousy award, that FSA award. But I think the best thing that FPU can do is to limit Konate's minutes by 5 to 10 minutes so that they can really make a deep run next season and potentially get to the Final Four. Hopefully, they get another big with him. Much like Gab, I would be surprised if si Shelton even had a chance to. We've been saying this since the first round last season, diba? Why would you get a one and done or two and through player when you can have Konate for 5 straight seasons? Diba? I think he is the backbone of FPU along with VJ Pre right now. And he's playing for Asia Basket right now. I think he has to. They're lucky that I don't think that they should even consider si Shelton. Send him back home. If he's really an FSA, I think it has to be Konate. Diba? It would be ludicrous. This guy, I think, really shed blood and tears last season for FEU. You can see when he was playing, diba? Hands on his knees and still racking up 20 plus rebounds in some games. I like.
Yung nagpapasab na nga sa ibang game, ayaw pa rin sa ilabas eh.
But he still continues to play hard, diba? Despite it all. I think that speaks volumes on what you want to have when you get an FSA. You want somebody who wants to win for the program, who wants to win for the fan base. It has to be Konate for FEU. And finally, FEU gets a decent FSA after all of those, I would say, up and down FSA hunt, di ba? Maybe parading the top 5 list of worst FSAs in the UAAP. So finally,
Whoa. Relax ka lang dyan, Maui. Marami-rami rin yan. But that's a good point, no, Maui. That's a good point. I think the last one you would say is Eman Ujula, diba? He was really good. He was probably the last good FSA for FEU. Minalas lang din because I think they recruited Ujula right before the pandemic and then the pandemic sila. So, ended up playing 1 year for FEU. But really love Konate. Clearly the number 2 or the best FSA right now. I think he led. He's in the top 3 in most rebounds in a game. He's 1, 2, and 3 because he had like 27, he had 25 and 24 or something like that. So if I remember correctly, he's in the top 3 for most rebounds. 1, 2, 3 sa kanya lahat.
I think 2 of those games were against Ateneo, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised, Gab. I wouldn't be surprised. Probably. Ateneo catching strays here. And a guy that can match up well with the number 1 center, Mike Phillips. FEU had close games against LaSalle or had one close game against LaSalle. Naubusan nga lang ng gas, as you mentioned, Maui. So, I think without a doubt, Mo Konate should be FEU's FSA as long as he stays healthy, knock on wood. And I think he will be one of the best, if not the best, FSAs for season 88. I do agree with that. Moving on. Let's see number 3.
Now at number 3, as you will see, there is an asterisk here because I don't know if he's gonna play.
May asterisk. Nga.
Because it's Peter Osang has been playing for UST here in the early part of the preseason. There were a ton of articles and rumors that came out about Mo Tounkara's disconnect with the UST program. So I think there's
to be fair,
reason
sabi ni Mo Tounkara, they're not true, di ba? Sabi niya, they're not true.
Now, but he's not playing, so until I see him in the UST jersey again, I'm gonna put an asterisk. But you don't doubt the talent that this guy has. We've always said that
For sure.
he's not a center. He's definitely a wing, but he's playing as a center just because he's an FSA and he's tall. But he's definitely a wing player, has an outside shot, a mid-range shot, can handle the ball, caused a lot of problems for LaSalle and UP because he was a matchup problem because he could stretch it out to the perimeter. He could play make from the perimeter. He was not a traditional center. And essentially was the barometer for UST success, especially against the likes of a UP and the LaSalle, because whenever he'd get into foul trouble, UST would just get pummeled because he was essentially all of their inside presence, both on offense and on defense. He was the only guy who could actually score in the paint and near the rim. He was the only guy who could protect the rim for UST. He's pretty important. I think for UST's title chances, they will have to get Mo Tounkara to come back. Nothing against you, Peter Osang. I think you, Peter Osang, is a serviceable FSA. He's not on the same level as Mo. Most 3-level scoring is just pretty important. His chemistry with Nick Caballero, especially with Forsky Patrigao, is pretty important as well. I do think that he could easily be number 2 here. Definitely has the skills for it, but for now, I give the edge to Mo Konate, Mo Tounkara. We'll see. I don't know talaga if he's gonna suit up. It's a bad sign that he's not playing right now with the main roster. Kasi if you watch UST, I think in the recent Pinoy Liga tournament, he was they were playing their main rotation guys. Most of their lineup projected for season 8 they were playing, but it was not Mo Tounkara there. It was Peter Osang. So that's not a good sign. So to any UST fans out there, please comment down below yung what you know. Maybe may narinig kayo, yung may nabalitaan kayo. Just chime in, We do want to know where Mo Tounkara is playing or if he's playing in season 8.
Sabi nga ni Coach Pido, walang iwanan. Pero mukhang iiwanan na naman sila ng FSA nila after one season. Sadly, I think Gab made the case, diba? It's a bit disappointing or it's a bit troubling to see that Peter Osang is the one playing, diba? Kasi UST has been parading their main roster. I think that would be a big blow to their title chances. Without a doubt, they are Final Four contenders, but iba yung continuity eh. Iba yung you get those top 3 guys for one more season. I don't know what's happening in UST if they lose this FSA again. Maybe there's something brewing in the inside with these FSA exits, diba? It's a bit concerning. Although we haven't seen them with the local players, so maybe I don't know, it's not an issue, maybe it's just a coincidence that they didn't that something happened between the coaching staff or the management with these FSAs. Baka baksak din, we don't know. But yeah, si Konate has si Tounkara has an argument to even be number 2. Diba? At times last season, he was very good. I think he was one of the players that really matched up pretty well with QMB, also of UP, because he was able to stretch the floor. He's the typical UST FSA. Diba? The ones that really were successful were guys who can stretch the floor, who were like wings. Similar to Karim Abdul and I forgot the name of the last FSA. The one that played
Solomon Chabio,
diba? I think UST fans were really reminded of Chabio last season, diba? And it's usually UST is usually the team that parades the most wings. Diba? It's one of the reasons why I like this team. And coincidentally, the most successful FSAs they've had are could be considered wing players. Maybe si Karim Abdul not. But they were able to stretch the floor. Were very versatile big man. And I don't know if Peter Osang has it in him to be able to be like that. Sayang for UST, diba? their ceiling could go down for this season if they don't get Tounkara back. Sabi nga natin, Sam, we were surprised to see him in the UAAP final. So maybe one of those teams are gonna surprise us and get him. But hopefully he stays in UST. Hopefully they can sort out all of the issues. I really think that he has an argument to win that top FSA award this season, especially if he finally can give Konate some breather. Diba? Kasi the reason why Konate also puts up heavy big numbers is because he plays the most minutes also from all the players in the UAAP. So let's see what will happen. I think that much like NU, this is a team that you have to look at where the FSA situation will end up. That will basically determine their ceiling for season 88.
Yeah, I agree. Mo Tounkara, if he plays for UST, is the clear number 3. Could even be a number 2 with his talent. Siguro the one thing that I want Mo Tounkara to work on also is yung maturity niya, 'di ba? Gets like these uncalled for technicals that could actually cost his team because he missed the game against Ateneo, which they lost. So for me, just work on the maturity then for Mo Tounkara. I do have a correction, Gab. Going back to Mo Konate, I did a quick research. So top 3 in rebounds dun sa tatlong games na yon, it wasn't 2 against Ateneo, Gab. It was actually 2 against LaSalle, and those 2 games were won by LaSalle by like 5 points. So imagine Mo Konate grabbing 25 plus rebounds against a lineup of like Mike Phillips, Raven Cortez, and Henry Agonane. He was that good. He could really match up with the bigs of LaSalle. So, Mo Konate talaga, clear number 2. Anyway, moving on. Sino ang number 4 mo? Ito medyo curious ako where you will go here.
It was hard for me to put him here, but in my head, the idea that he's still in UE, I think Precious Momaway has to be mentioned. I still do believe in the talent of Precious. I've seen him become effective on the floor. I've seen him have big games. I've seen him been put in spots where he could succeed as a role guy, as a drop pass guy. I still believe in the talent of Precious Momaway. And the fact that he's still in UE, he's gonna get a ton of usage, gonna get a ton of minutes. His backup is 30 Malaga and Ron Gigo. I think that tells it's the same situation as with it's the same situation as with Mo Konate in FEU. Whose backup is Miguel Ona. Precious is gonna see so much time on the floor. He's gonna put up numbers. Whether he's efficient or not is going to be the question, which is why he's down to number 4. Last year, I think I put him number 1 or number 2 or in our FSA rankings. I did believe in the talent. He was putting up big numbers in his first year in the UAAP as a rookie. He just has to be efficiency. He just has to be more efficient. He has to work on cutting down his turnovers, work on his free throws. A lot of things have to go right, and there's a lot of things he has to work on for him to climb up these rankings. I still believe in his skill set. He's still gonna put up numbers. He still protects the rim pretty well, although he does foul a lot. Another thing where he has to work on. But see, Precious now in his 3rd season. I think he has the buy-in of his coach, si Chris Govina, from
Euroleague
the press
daw.
release. Gusto niya mag-Euroleague. My opinion, kaya. He's tall enough. He has the skills. He has the physical abilities. Kaya. But a lot of things to work on. It was a disappointing season 87 for Precious Momaway and the UE Red Warriors. Let's see if they can bounce back. Again, horrible second round. It coincided with bad shooting from the rest of his teammates, but also Precious Momaway has to take the blame. He was not that good in the second round. Also got suspended again in an Ateneo game. Okay. Not Ateneo's fault that dumugo yung dalawang players sa UST. But yeah, I still love Precious Momoway. Still one of the top centers in the UAAP. I'm curious, did you guys have Precious here at number 4?
Yes. Yes. Actually, I wasn't even sure to put si Tounkara sa list, but I agree with the asterisk. Right now, we need confirmation first kung talaga bang wala na siya. But yeah, I put Momo Way there, and I agree with your points. I think the most important thing he has to work on is yung temper niya. Diba? I think it's the main reason why he struggles on the floor and why he picks up silly fouls and picks up some of those silly technical fouls that gets him suspended coincidentally against Ateneo. Diba? I think that's something he has to show in year 3, his maturity. If he wants to be pro, he wants to get to the EuroLeague, he has to be more of a leader. He has to let his cooler, diba they say cooler heads prevail. That's something he has to live by. He has to show that he can be consistent. He has to show that I think to be more consistent talaga and not overthink, diba, making plays. He has to prioritize his strengths, which is being the role man and not creating his own shot, diba? I think that's where he really thrives at the moment. Be the best in that first before you can develop your game, diba? And I think where he goes, UE goes pa rin. Gab was right. It's not just the outside shooting that was lacking in the second round. It was also... So actually, si Precious Momoway was super disappointing in season 87. Diba? We expected him to put up 20 10s, but he ended up putting up 7 and 10s, 8 and 10s. So a lot of single-digit games, which you can't expect from a top FSA. If you want to be the top FSA in the UAAP, you have to always score 15 to 20 points a game, grab 10 to 15 rebounds. I think he's capable to do that, as shown in the past. And I'm excited to see how si Coach Chris can harness his talents and abilities. It's good that you get validation from your coach, diba? Anytime you get that, it's one of the reasons why I think si BJ Pre should stay in FEU. Diba? When you have the backing, when your coach goes on public and special mentions you, there's a reason why he believes in you, diba? And I think si Momoway can potentially surprise us. Maybe skyrocket to number 2 in season 88. Sap.
Yeah, I had Precious Momoway as my number 4. I was expecting Gab na magsuswerve ka at number 4, but I think Precious is the right pick. I think for me, similar to what Maui said, I think Precious is a very passionate player, 'di ba? Yung sometimes yung emotions niya takes over him, 'di ba? But also because he's very passionate, he really cares about winning. Feel ko may tendency siya na like he wants to do everything. Na parang feel niya I'm the main guy na inaasahan ng lahat. I want to do everything that I can to win. And sometimes that ends up being like a forced shot or he a turnover or something like that. I think he needs to let the game come to him. Just work hard on rebounding, defending, take smarter shots. Let the game come to you, and I think before you know it, you'll have like 15 and 10 or something like that. And I think it also helps na we've seen the other guys that could contribute to UE. Maui, you just mentioned John Abate scored like had like 35 and 5, diba? So now it's clear now John Abate is also like a star for UE. Rainier Maga is also a star. We talked about Devin Fikes in our potential top power forward. So at least he knows he has other guys that he can trust. I feel like last year, mas may parang I have to do everything mentality siya because there are a lot of question marks about UE last year. These guys, like, we didn't know what to expect from Maga and Abate and Fikes from last year. So I think now that he knows he has other guys that he can rely on, and hopefully Coach Chris Gavina will help Momoway get to his spots. I feel like he will bounce back this season because the talent is there, the size is there, and if he wants to make it to the EuroLeague, he needs to work. He needs to work on his game. We can't see the same Precious Momoway from last season. So, but still a number 4 for me, Precious Momoway. Gab, number
Yep.
5.
Number 5 is my boy, Cedric Manzano. Joke lang.
Okay. Okay, napaisip ako doon, my boy. Sino to?
No, it's Cedric Manzano. I I had to put him on here. I mean, I was thinking of other guys like my real boy, si PJ Palacel of NU, perhaps si Omar John. He's the one. He's the FSA now for NU. Perhaps si Divine Adili of Ateneo. Maybe we'll talk about it later as possible number 5. But it has to be Cedric. Yes, he started at power forward for majority of the season, but he did play center for for quarters 2 to 4 in majority of the games. He was still playing center. He was still alternating minutes with OJ Ojarikre. And when it came to crunch time, it was still Cedric Manzano at center for Adamson. And I don't think he's gonna make it internationally in international leagues. But as a guy who you can see dominate in the PBA, I think it's Cedric Manzano. This guy is screaming PBA center for me. Just a guy who...
That's a compliment, by the way, Cedric Manzano.
That's a compliment. He's gonna dominate. In the PBA. An old school guy. I've said this, I think, in multiple seasons already. If you put this guy in the early 2000s with the likes of Jervy Cruz, those types of centers, we would be saying Cedric Manzano for MVP. He would be a lock for a candidate for MVP. He's that good. He looks, actually yung mukha niya parang
throwback
niya.
Throwback center siya.
Sobrang unassuming niya, Sam. Sobrang unassuming yung tao. Mukha siyang mabait, mukha siyang baby boy, yung like his name. But he throws his weight around. He throws his weight, his elbows around. Magulang tong taong to. He knows how to position himself inside the paint. And, di ba, he's the shortest. I think he's the shortest among these 5 guys I have on this list. But he can score in the paint with the rest of these 5 guys. He knows how to create space with his shoulders and his elbows. He's almost immovable in the paint. He's just so smart. He can dominate just by his rebounding and his inside scoring. He's not really much of a mid-range or an outside shooter. He doesn't score big, but there are times he does. But he's in his 5th season, he's the main guy for Adamson. He is their anchor. He's the one that they depend upon for baskets if they can't get any. If you remember, twice silang natambakan ng Lasal, and in those 2 games, they always went to Cedric Manzano. I think those were his highest scoring games against Lasal when they had no other option to score. So they just went to Cedric Manzano. And the fact that he can score over Mike Phillips says something. Mike Phillips is a great defender, but Cedric Manzano can match up with him and score against him. I think I just had to put him here. I know the hot new names of Divine Adili are going around there, but I cannot put Divine Adili. Si Maui is smiling because I know probably si Maui had him in his short list. Pero Maui, he has not faced any FSA. He's mostly dominated against NCAA opponents and St. Clair. So I want to see Divine Adili against other FSAs first. The one time he went up against a UAAP caliber center in Mike Phillips, he fouled out.
Yeah.
9 minutes. In 9 minutes.
Fouled out in 9 minutes.
So I still give the edge to Cedric Manzano. I still love this guy. I'm still an Adamson believer. I still think they're gonna fight for the Final Four, despite the lack of talent there. They have Cedric Manzano, the man in the middle. Your thoughts?
Ako, alam na. I will be the homer and say that I have to include Divine Adili in my top 5 list. Diba?
I know it. Someone's gonna put Divine Adili.
Diba?
Sige,
Tounkara supposedly wasn't in my list kasi I didn't know if he was gonna suit up. Diba? It doesn't look good. And maybe si Manzano. was my number 5 in my list. I think him and Calachelo were the ones I was looking at. But Divine Adili has to be part of the list just because of the upside I think that he brings to Ateneo. Maybe it's a byproduct of Ateneo also not having decent big man. Sorry to Chris Porter. Diba? I know you brought everything on the floor, you gave it your all, but playing at 6'3", 6'4" as a big man, that wasn't beneficial to Ateneo last season. I think Divine Adili has the game to surprise us. I love how he moves with the ball and without the ball. Ganda ng footwork, not so athletic, but I love the footwork. I love how he forces himself into the paint with his footwork. Ateneo should make sure to lock him up and get him as their FSA for season 88. 5 seasons. Diba? The last time Ateneo had an FSA who played 5 seasons, it ended up with them winning what? 4 championships ba? If I'm not mistaken. Losing only to 3.
Yung
3.
one si Ike eh. Yung isa si Ike, Maui. Don't discount Ike.
Wait, so did Kwame play 5 seasons? He did. Or
He
only
played
4?
4. One was in the pandemic, diba? He missed it.
Yeah. So 3 out of 4 for Kwame. So relax, Ateneo fans. Adili is not Kwame right now. We still don't know, as Gab mentioned, if he can match up well with the other FSAs. Diba? Mike Phillips gave him his welcome to the UAAP, welcome to the collegiate ranks moment this early in the off-season. But remember, Divine Adili has only been practicing with Ateneo for a month. Diba? So let's see how he adjusts. But I would be surprised if Ateneo decides to go another direction. I think this is the guy. This is the FSA that Ateneo should go to. No more band-aid solutions. Get a guy who can play 5 seasons as FSA. I think he has the tools. He has the potential to be a very good player. Right now, I'm more impressed with him sa offensive end and his rebounding. Let's see how he develops his defensive game also. I think he has to understand his value and foul less. Definitely. Let's see where this goes for Ateneo. But if there was some glimmer of hope, I think yung ranking natin sa power forward and center stats are the main reasons why. The fact that both players could be top players, the fact that Ladi and Adili could be considered as top players in their position is one of the main reasons why Ateneans are starting to be mayabang ulit and optimistic. So let's see. let's see if it's the real deal. Diba? It's still different, diba? It's still different until we get to Phil Oil, until we get to that first round UAP. We don't know, diba? But it's been better for Ateneo this off-season, diba? Remember, you cannot go higher from a 0-7 off-season last season, not beating any UAP team. So let's see.
Just to add, Maui, natutuwa ako na yung sinabi mo, relax, Ateneo fans, he's not Edge Kwame, because I have gotten the same messages. We have the next Edge Kwame. I'm like, bro, have you even watched Divine Adili? I'm like, bro, chill out. Come on. He's not Edge Kwame. He's not even near the defensive guy that Edge Kwame is. Divine Adili sabi mo, Maui, ang dami pang tatrabahuin ni Divine Adili on defense. He's not.
Ang dami pang bigas.
Not even close. Although I think he's eaten a lot of protein because those shoulders are massive. But as you said, offensively, I think you like what you see. The fact that he can even catch the ball. Masasunod niya yung bola, pare. Tapos natadunk niya, nakascore siya sa loob. Hindi niya nabibitawan.
Grabe ang baba nung baba nung standards for Ateneo. But I'm glad actually I did not have Manzano and Divine Adili as my number 5. So magkakaiba yung number 5 natin.
What did you have?
Before I get there, I'm glad that you guys mentioned Manzano and Divine Adili. I also had them as my potential number 5 guys, and I'm happy I'm happy that Divine Adili, hopefully Divine Adili na yung maglaro for Ateneo, no? But I am happy for Ateneo because last season Cedric Manzano loved playing against us because he was eating up Ateneo. Even nung
Barbecue
preseason
chicken.
pa lang, barbecue chicken for Cedric Manzano. I was so scared. Every time Cedric Manzano got the ball against Ateneo, sabi ko, wala na, sure ball. I remember my preseason, lamang pa ata Ateneo, and then they just gave it to Cedric. Phil Oil yun, diba? They gave it to Cedric, they caught up. We didn't win. They beat us. Same thing happened nung season 87. I think there's game 2 na they caught up because Cedric Manzano was eating us alive. So, I can't argue with you, Gab, if you have him as number 5 kasi he's that good, he's that strong, he's that scary as a local, so super solid center. I do agree with Maui. Divine Adili deserves to be Ateneo center FSA for season 88. But I actually had an asterisk at number 5. Ang asterisk ko dito is NU FSA. So I picked the whoever the FSA of NU will be. And yung argument ko lang din against Manzano and Adili, I guess for Adili, to Gab's point, hasn't played much against UAAP caliber FSAs or big men. So unproven pa, tama ka, Maui. For Manzano, na-mention mo, there were times last season na he did not get a lot of touches or he did not score much. Actually, the times when he scored a lot, most of the time they lost, if I remember correctly. So, yun yung...
Because they don't run a lot of offense through Manzano.
Correct. And I was gonna say, mas si Erelon na kasi yung nagra-run ng offense, and you have other guys like sina AJ Franzman as part of the team. So I'm not sure how they will use Manzano. Coach Nash Rosella will use Manzano this season. For me kasi si Coach Nash then he likes playing as a team, 'di ba? Yung system players sila. So I picked the NUFSA just for the upside. Kasi you have potentially three really, really good FSAs for NU. Omar John, you mentioned. Modia Sana, if he recovers in time, which may chance. And then, syempre, kalimutan ko tuloy yung name from high school, si Collins Akowe, who we're expecting him to join NU. So, you have three really, really good FSAs that could potentially play for NU. And obviously, the NU FSA last year, we forgot kasi Modia Sana played one game. But I think they could have a really good impact for NU this season. So, I'm putting an asterisk at number 5. I'm putting the NU FSA, whoever that will be. So, sige, recap tayo.
Magandang survey.
Shout out to Omar John.
Shout out to Omar John. He's been doing really good.
He's been doing really well.
Good. So,
Gave
I do
Montel
want
Shelton the business in their ASAP basket game. I think that, wow, Montel Shelton, welcome to the UAAP from Omar John.
Yeah. And na-mention mo Gab last season. Grabe to si Maui. Na-mention mo ata when we talked about NU, he looks bigger. Yung shoulders din ni Omar John. I think he's been bulking up. So, I do want to shout out the NU FSAs. I think whoever they will end up with will have a big impact for NU this season. But, since we're talking about PoloGab's top 5 centers, let's do a recap of PoloGab's top 5 centers. Number 1, Mike Phillips. Number 2, Mo Konate. Number 3, Mo Tounkara with an asterisk. Number 4, Precious Momoe. And number 5, baby boy, Cedric Manzano. So, that's it. That's it for our top 5 players per position for UAAP Season 88. Way too early list. Thank you once again to our special guest, PoloGab. Probably you'll see him next season na or next year na or maybe mag-update yung photos. Comment down below kung anong photos ang gusto niyo makita. More PoloGab photos or maybe SandoGab photos, and malay mo, magkaroon tayo ng for next year, baka magkaroon tayo ng calendar featuring PoloGab and SandoGab. So comment down below kung gusto niya ng calendar ni Sando Gab. We'll make it happen.
Tanduay calendars, bro.
We'll make it happen. Nakasakay ka pa sa kabayo. Alam mo yun, yung mga nakasakay ka sa kabayo. We'll make it happen. Let us know if you want that. Like, comment, share, subscribe. That's it. I can't take this seriously. I'm ending this episode right now.